Is your YouTube marketing strategy failing to drive real business results? Well, don't worry because I've been there. But today I'm sharing the 6 easy steps that got me from just getting by to making multiple six figures per month from YouTube. And these aren't just ideas. These are proven tactics that haven't just helped me, but they've also worked for countless other entrepreneurs and content creators. And today I'm going to show you exactly how I did it and how you can do it too. So whether you're a coach, consultant, agency owner, course creator, or if you're a YouTube creator that just wants to learn how to monetize better, these strategies are going to change the game for you. But before we dive in, let me give you a bit of context. I wasn't always the YouTube marketing expert that I am today. In fact, my journey started in a completely different field. I used to be a pharmacist, believe it or not, and I was making a six-figure salary, but I was also drowning in 6 figures of student loan debt. And I knew there had to be a better way. And that's when I discovered the power of YouTube. And at first I was just another content creator that got views, but didn't make any money. Because if you didn't know already, most influencers are broke. Then I had an epiphany. I realized that YouTube wasn't just a platform for sharing information, it was a powerful tool for building a business. And I started applying business principles to my YouTube strategy, and that's when things really took off. I went from being just another YouTuber to becoming a business scaling expert using YouTube. And I started helping other entrepreneurs leverage the platform to grow their business, and other YouTubers actually properly monetize on YouTube. And now I'm going to show you the exact 6 steps I used to turn YouTube into my biggest business asset. And these aren't just theories, these are battle-tested strategies that have worked for me and for my clients. And here's a quick rundown of what we're going to cover. 1, define your target audience. 2, develop a content strategy. 3, consistent high quality video production that only takes 4 hours per week. 4, optimize your videos for search and for browse. 5, engage with your community so that you can actually contact them and make them aware of your products and services, because that is the one weakness of YouTube. And 6, analyze and adjust. Now, each of these steps is crucial, and together they form a strategy that's going to transform your YouTube presence from a hobby into a serious business. All right, so let's dive into step number 1. Defining your target audience. Now, I know you're thinking, Shane, I already know who my target audience is. But here's the thing, when it comes to YouTube, you need to get even more specific. And in the B2B world, this is absolutely crucial. You're not just trying to reach anyone who might be interested in your product or service. You're trying to reach decision makers, the people who have the power to say yes to what you're offering. And even in the B2C world, you're trying to reach people who are ready to buy. So let me give you a quick tip on how to identify these decision makers in your niche. Start by looking at your current client base. Who are the people actually signing off on contracts? What positions do they hold? What kind of language do they use? When I first started my YouTube channel, I was casting a wide net. I was talking about careers, education, personal finance, college degrees, you name it. And for sure, I was getting views, but I wasn't getting the right kind of views. It wasn't until I narrowed down my focus to specifically people who wanted to get remote jobs that things started to scale. And I started creating content specifically for people who were trying to land remote jobs. And the result, my view count actually went down at first, but you know what went up? My conversion rate. I was getting fewer views, but I was making much more money. And then later on down the line, my views went back up again and my revenue scaled with it. And this is the power of defining your target audience. It's not about reaching everyone, it's about reaching the right people. Now that we've identified our target audience, it's time to create content that speaks directly to them. And this is where your content strategy comes into play. In the B2B world, your content strategy isn't just about entertaining or informing people, it's about establishing yourself as a thought leader in your industry, otherwise known as an authority. Now, your YouTube channel should be a resource that decision makers turn to when they're facing challenges in their business. And here's a quick tip on how to create an effective content calendar for your B2B YouTube channel. Start by identifying 3 to 5 content pillars. These are the main themes or topics that your content will revolve around. For example, if you're a marketing agency, your pillars might be social media strategy, content marketing, SEO, paid advertising, and marketing analytics. Now, once you have your pillars, you can start brainstorming specific video ideas within each pillar and aim to create a mix of evergreen content and timely content that addresses current trends or challenges in your industry. And when I did this on my channel, my content became much more targeted and effective. I started seeing a consistent upward trend in my views, engagement, and most importantly, the number of leads I was generating. And remember, in the B2B world, consistency is key. Now, in the B2C world, you can go a little bit broader. You can target a broader audience. Just realize that many of the people that are attracted to your channel are not going to be buyers, and so you're going to have to qualify those leads really hard. All right, so step 3 is going to be consistent, high quality video production. And boy, that sounds like a lot of work, right? Because you're not a videographer, you're a business owner. And I get it. But here's the thing. In today's digital age, it actually doesn't take that much time to make quality video content. And especially in the B2B world, or if you're selling to a sophisticated audience, they don't really care all that much about how high quality your video content is. They care more about the value that you're delivering. Just as an example, when I first started this channel, most of my videos were literally just Loom videos. So not high quality at all. And yet I was still able to make $30,000 in the first month of starting this channel. So all you really need is a decent camera, and even a good smartphone can work. For instance, Charlie Morgan grew his channel to over 100,000 subscribers and over $1 million a month, literally just using an iPhone. You also need a simple lighting setup. You can either use natural light by facing towards a window, or you can use something like a ring light. And then you're gonna need a clear microphone. And this is the one thing where it's actually worth it to spend the money on, because audio quality is often even more important than video quality. So a Rode VideoMic Pro is really good. I also like the Shure SM7B, and Rode products in general, like the Rode lavalier mic, are good as well. But with that being said, when I first started this channel, I literally just use iPhone earphones. So it's even possible to do it with something that cheap and simple. Now, I will say, if you use cheap audio, I would highly recommend that you use something like Adobe Podcast to enhance the audio in post-production. Then the next thing you need is a clean, uncluttered background. So this is something I do see quite often, is people will put their bed in the background and it's like not even made or anything, so it just looks really messy. Or people will have a bunch of like flashing lights in the background and it's just super distracting. So don't do that. And when I first started my YouTube channel, I was recording videos on my phone with terrible lighting in my messy apartment. And guess what? The results reflected that. But then I decided to invest in upgrading my setup. I got a better camera, set up proper lighting, and created a dedicated recording space. And the difference was like night and day. And the quality wasn't that good, it was just good enough. And that's really the big thing about quality, is you need to reach a certain threshold, and that threshold is maybe like a 6 out of 10. And once you've reached that threshold, it actually doesn't matter very much anymore. And remember, the biggest and most important thing when it comes to quality is the quality of your information, the value that you're delivering. And recently, quality has become even less important because people have really been craving raw, authentic content. Now, I don't know if this trend is gonna last. It might last, like 6 months, a year, maybe a few years, and then maybe it'll go back to kind of the retention editing era where people do actually care about quality again. But it is an interesting trend, and a lot of people are blowing up with very low quality. Step 4 is optimize your videos for search and browse. But search is the most important one, because you might be creating the best content in the world, but if no one can find it, what's the point? And that's where search optimization comes in. And this is absolutely crucial. Your potential clients are likely using YouTube as a search engine. They're looking for solutions to their specific business problems. So you need to make sure your videos are showing up in those searches. And let me give you a quick tip on using industry-specific keywords. Start by thinking about the language your ideal clients use. What terms are they searching for? What problems are they trying to solve? What technologies do they use? And you can use tools like Google Keyword Planner or vidIQ to find relevant high volume keywords in your niche. So this basically trains the YouTube pixel to show your videos to the exact types of people that you want. And at first, your videos might not get as many views as if you did some generic video about, how to start a business or something. But over time, you're gonna end up getting more views from the people that you actually want to get views from. And so it's worth it to do this even if you don't get that many views at first, because you're basically training the YouTube pixel. So if you've ever run paid ads, for instance, it's very similar to a pixel that you'd put on your website that slowly trains the ad platform to show your videos to the right people. And it's the same exact thing with YouTube. So for instance, I've done videos on this channel about school, I've done videos about Go High Level, and I've done videos about people who are really big names in the space, such as Iman Gadzhi and Andrew Tate. And there's a reason for this. I'm training the pixel to show my videos to the exact right type of people. However, I do still try to make my videos attractive to the point where they could potentially take off on browse, which means basically getting shown on the home page most of the time. So basically, what I like to call this strategy is the Moneyball strategy. It's where I always make sure that I'm gonna get views from search, but I also make the title attractive enough that once in a while I hit a home run. And I think that's the best possible way to do it. Now, step 5 is engaging and interacting with your community. And this step is where a lot of B2B businesses fall short on YouTube, because the one thing that is really weak about YouTube is you can't actually contact anybody. So technically, there's no leads on YouTube. YouTube is purely just for traffic generation, and if you want leads, aka people that you can actually contact, you have to get them on a different platform. Now, the most common versions of this are, of course, your email list. Email list is probably the best one. But you can also get them in a group, something like Facebook or school or Discord. You can also send them to a platform that's really good for appointment settings, such as Instagram. And then of course you could get them in a paid membership as well. That's usually low ticket, something like $5 or $50 a month. And then from there, you try to upsell them to your higher ticket product. So it's very important to have this option to interact with your community because you can't actually do it right on YouTube. Now, you can technically respond to people's comments, which, you know, that's a really good idea, especially when your channel's smaller, but you're not responding to a real person. Usually it's some random made up name like Bearman234. So although you can have that interaction with your audience, it's better to have that interaction on a different platform. And I will say that this is one of the biggest mistakes I made is I didn't grow my email list early on. And I would have literally hundreds of thousands of extra people on my email list if I just had grown it. And it's the easiest thing to do. All you have to do is just simply offer something for free, some kind of lead magnet that's valuable to your audience, and they can get it in exchange for their email. And on average, you make about $1 per email subscriber per month. And in many niches, it's much, much higher than that. And email marketing has about a 40-to-1 ROI, meaning for every $1 you spend on it, you get a $40 return. Absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, if you want to start somewhere, definitely start there by growing your email list. But the other methods of community building are really good too. And a pro tip here is to get people to respond to your emails and then you start a conversation with them. Now, step 6 is analyze and adjust. And this is the final step, but in many ways, this is where the real work begins. Because here's the truth. No matter how well you execute the first 5 steps, there's always room for improvement. You're never gonna get it completely right the first time. And when you're selling digital products or services, especially high ticket ones, every lead and every conversation can mean significant revenue. So continuous improvement isn't just helpful, it's essential. And this step is all about using data to drive your decisions and refine your strategy. It's about turning your YouTube channel from a content platform into a lead generation machine that you can optimize and scale. So let me give you a quick tip on tracking conversions from YouTube. Set up a unique UTM parameter for each video link in your description. Now, one platform you can do this with is short.io, but there's many platforms that do this. And this way you can track exactly which videos are driving traffic to your website, and more importantly, which ones are resulting in conversions. And this is another thing that I didn't do when I first started that I regret. It only takes about 30 seconds to set up a UTM link. It's literally like the easiest thing, and it will be invaluable data because there's a lot of videos that might get a lot of views, but they don't drive conversions. And then there's even videos that might get views and conversions, but none of those people who sign up to your email list or go to your website end up buying. And that is incredibly important data for you to know. So just as an example, for both my clients as well as myself, there's been times when we've done really detailed step-by-step tutorial videos that took a ton of time and effort to make, and they didn't convert at all. Like they would get a lot of views, but their conversions were terrible. And then there's other videos that didn't take that much time or effort to make, and maybe they didn't even get that many views, but the conversions were off the charts. And so what you really want to start tracking is 2 different things: revenue per 1,000 views and revenue per video. If you have those 2 numbers, you're gonna know what types of videos you should actually be making. And the only way to track those is by installing UTM parameters. And by the way, if you're a business owner and you wanna take my 10,000 hours of experience and install it into your head in a fraction of the time, go ahead and book a call with me down in the description and the pinned comment below. Now, there's actually a secret 7th step that ties everything together. And this 7th step is what separates the YouTube channels that are merely successful from those that become true lead generation powerhouses. And it's the step that allowed me to automate my entire business. And I talk about that in this video where I go over my YouTube process, so click that to check it out.